Yes, what's good, people? Big up to every single one of you. 12th man is back. We've got another Let's Talk Ball. We've got a different panel, some regulars and some new faces. And I've got to say, some faces of old that we haven't seen for a while. So big up to all of you. It's a great, great panel. Big up to yourself, Joe. How are you, my friend? I haven't seen you for so long, mate.
I know, mate. I've just been concentrating on the proper football down in the Championship, Anna, mate. You know, that's that's where I've been. But
coming back to the Primrose soon, bro. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're 13 games away from confirming the title. I better dip back into that Premier League stuff because we're coming back, you know. So yeah.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You're always welcome on here, but it'd be good to see you in the Prem, man. You know my thoughts on Leeds in the Premier League. It has to be done. So come on, man. And looks like you're smashing it this season, man. There's no more worries, I don't think, this season. Last season was a lot more closer, man. So we'll touch on that. So big up to you, man. Billy, always a pleasure, my bro. Thank you for doing us a favor last night. Me and Hooks are a big fan of you right now.
Pleasure as always, mate. Pleasure as always. I'm glad that we could get something out of the game. Yeah, it was slightly disappointing because I feel like they were there for the taking. But look, on another day, if they finished their chances, they could have buried us as well. So it's one of them, and I'm not scoffing at a point. I've got to be honest.
Fair play, man. No, come on. Absolutely. Big up to you. George, welcome back, mate. Always a pleasure to see you every Thursday. How are you, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm well. Obviously, picked up 3 points. It's been a very long time since we got some, and to get one over on United feels even better, to be honest. You know, if there's any team you can beat right now, it's got to be them. So, yeah, no, not too bad.
100%, man. Sava, welcome back, my bro. It's been too long, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm really well. And yeah, like George said, it's rare that we get to go on a show after a win. So it's yeah, we're both here. We've got 5 more Spurs fans waiting to come on and all gloat about our massive win. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Come on, man. You got another channel as well that you've literally just gone live, man. What you got going on?
Yeah, just called it FHTV Plus. Look, you know what? I'm a massive football fan, right? I think sometimes that gets lost in all of the who do you support type nonsense. So I wanted to be able to talk about all things football without the clickbait stuff. So I've set up FHTV Plus, just videos, no lives. And yeah, I'm going to put the link for you in the private chat. If you could post it to your viewers, that would be shamelessly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Come on, man. Absolutely. Make sure you're following Football Heritage TV and Football Heritage TV Plus now and go and show Sava some love. Winter Surfer, bruv. Haven't seen you for ages, man. What you selling me? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just picking from about 8 reasons about what to protest about next Tuesday from my fan base. So I haven't decided yet. There's like a voting round and then we get through to knockout stages of that round and then we decide 6 hours before the protest happens, but it's all good. I'm all good. Thanks.
If I'm honest, I don't know what you guys are protesting about. I can't keep up with it, but you know, it is what it is.
I don't know, and I'm a Chelsea fan. And I haven't put down they haven't given me an actual reason what we're protesting for. So, although someone on TalkSport tried to explain it this week and they failed miserably, so it's all good.
Well, listen, if there's anything to go by, I did see the Spurs protest, which actually was a lot better than they gave media coverage for, in my opinion. But yes. There was a guy with a Levy in promotion for his banner just walking along. I thought, wow, this is a problem.
To be fair, Levy had a doppelganger just like at front line at the protest. He was holding all the banners, and I'm thinking, is that Levy at the front? He's got the ball head, he's small.
Oh, and we got Hooks and we got Callum, man. Hooks is already giving Callum some stick. Look at this, man. I can't believe it. Like he's literally just jumped on, man. Come on.
No. Callum,
evening to everyone. Evening. Hooks, I'm not going to let Hooks drag me into the depths. I'm just going to remain professional.
Listen, man, all of you are welcome. All of you are welcome, man, and it's great to have this panel. And I'm going to start with Billy because obviously they had Liverpool last night, and I didn't actually watch any games last night. I was out all night, and it was like, you know what? I don't even want to bloody watch it. Real Madrid are probably going to beat Man City, and I think Liverpool are going to beat Villa. And I was, delighted to see that Liverpool dropped some points again. Billy, talk to me, man. Could you take it all free?
I certainly think they were there for the taking. Yeah, absolutely. I think at the end, especially when we was pushing on, Rashford and Asensio came off. Ramsey came on. Rashford went into the middle. Marlon back up out on the wing, and I feel like that really gave us a big push forward against tired defensive legs. But unfortunately, it just wasn't to be for all 3 points. Sorry, Robs. You know I love you, mate. You know I love you. But yeah, as well at the same time, if Liverpool had buried their chances, you're obviously the main one is the Núñez one, but Jota, a chance like that, 99 times out of 100 he scores that, if not more. So yeah, we rode our luck at times. We were sloppy first 20, 30 minutes, constantly making mistakes, but eventually kind of grew into the game. Somehow before half time managed to pull 2 goals back. And yeah, at the end of the day, it was a bad mistake and a deflection that cost us all 3 points. So against Liverpool, I can't be too disappointed at that. It's a big game against Chelsea at the weekend. Our main area for that is making sure that Konsa's back fit, hopefully. So we've got 2 centre backs playing. Yes, it's not looking good on that front, on the centre back front for us for that. But yeah, look, it is what it is.
Right,
Chelsea aren't in the
night, man, as well. What was that all about? That first goal, man.
Yeah, the mistake was poor. It was really poor. But in fairness to him, he played well after that. I've been very impressed with him. 5 million from Levante, 21-year-old. He's only ever played Division 2 football in Spain. So yeah, I've been really impressed with him, to be honest with you. That mistake was one of those things that happens, unfortunately, in football. But the way he bounced back from that and was continued to be confident in taking his man on and whipping a ball across, it showed me a lot about him, really. And hopefully under Emery, with a bit of patience and guidance, we've got one hell of a player on our hands. Fingers crossed.
I mean, the player I think deserves a mention and has done all season is someone you got on a free transfer, which I said was going to be a quality signing. Tielemans, man, he has been absolutely outstanding, and we were linked with him a few seasons ago. I think it was 2 seasons ago, and I said I'd take him as a kind of 8 or a box to box or someone that could do a little bit of everything and control that midfield. And I was kind of laughed out. Oh, we want someone better than him. Well, he's better than what we've got, trust me, in that midfield, in that role, because as much as I love Declan Rice, I still see him more of as a 6, and Partey obviously as a 6. Marino at the moment is our striker, so he's not even playing in that position. So for me, I think Tielemans would have been a great signing, but I think he's fitted in amazingly at Villa, and I know you're a big fan, Bill.
Yeah, I love him. He was a player that came in. It took him a few months to kind of settle in a little bit. Obviously, at the time we had Douglas Luiz and Kamara, who were the main centre mids. But slowly but surely over last season, he got into that starting 11, and he's kept his place ever since. He's just quality. The way that he can hold on to the ball, he dictates the game. Even driving forward into spaces, he's fantastic. And I think you look at his stats overall. I think he's got. I think he's second most in passes through the lines and passes into the final third and things like that. So you've got a player like that in your midfield. Yeah, you're always going to be looking up the table instead of down the table.
No, fair play, man. Look, before I come to Cal Hooks, you're quite happy, it seems. You've been smiling quite a lot, and Cal's kind of anticipating what you're going to say. So I feel like I'd just give you the mic first, and then we'll come to Cal.
I don't even want the mic for too long. I was just going to say, I think that we should all just, have a moment of silence, for the fact that Liverpool wasn't able to beat an Aston Villa who had De Sarsi, Tyrone Mings, and some Levante Liga 2 defender in their back line against the almighty Lord of Football, Mo Salah. And do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we need a moment of silence because it was a sad day. And I just want to let all the Uruguayans out there in the world know that I stand with Núñez. Yeah? Szoboszlai was a true person at fault. Yeah. Anyone that knows, he could have done a few things. Yeah. He could have cut to his left. Tyrone Mings would have collided with him, and then it would have been another penalty for Salah. He could have gone to his right, tried to go around the keeper, drawn another penalty. It would have been another penalty for Salah. Just saying, no penalty, no win for Liverpool. He could have tried to, bottom right. He could have made a bit more, you know, a wider angle to get around the key. You know what I mean? He could have top right bins there. He could have bottom left, but no, he passed it to Nunes. He passed off responsibility. And I don't know about you, Cal, or anyone else on the panel, but when I'm in a title race, I want my players to take responsibility. I want them to be accountable. I want them to lead by example. So yeah, Cal, I know you're in a dark place right now. I was watching, and it's funny because if Matt wasn't there, just would have never responded to all of my messages in the chat. But I hear it, but it's okay. You know, this is the Cal show today because obviously Liverpool fan. It's looking a bit spooky, a bit of cracks are showing. But let us know how you feel, bro. Let us know we're here. It's a safe space.
Go on, Cal. Is Hooks doing too much? Go on, Cal.
No, I just want to say I'm just going to be professional today. Big up Joe. Big up Billy, George, Dan, obviously. Big up Andrew and big up Sava.
You're very classy, Cal. You're very classy to do that.
It's hard to remain this way. What can I say? I knew this would be what Hooks would do. The thing is, I've not even known Hooks that long, and I really do like him. But from a football standpoint, I've tried to block him a few times, and he just keeps on getting through. Like, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. I don't know. I may just try and escalate it, send an email to Google. I'm not sure yet. I know why he's saying the Szoboszlai stuff because he's seen me tweeting about it and stuff. So I'm not gonna rise to that because he's trying to get a reaction, and I'm not gonna do it for him. Yesterday, Billy, I could have done with you doing us a favor yesterday, bro, but clearly not. We can't. We're our own worst enemy sometimes, Dan. I don't get how much more you need to beat Villa. And again, no disrespect to Villa, I rate Villa highly, but this was a time where you should be beating Villa, they're depleted defensively. If there's ever a time to play Villa at Villa Park, it was yesterday, and we saw that. We had gilt-edged chances. It wasn't just.
Oh, is that me?
No, it's I think Aston Villa
that's what Villa have done. That's what Villa have done, said Cal. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what Villa have done. Look, I've got to be real. I actually thought, let's wait for Cal to come back. I'm sure he will. I actually thought that there was an opportunity, of course, but I mean, I didn't see the whole game. I'll speak it to the panel. Do you think that Liverpool have starting to show a little bit of cracks, or is this just the fact they've been playing 5 games in 15 days or whatever, and they've now got to a stage where they've dropped a couple of points? I'll let anyone come in on that.
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I think there's obviously playing that amount of games, you're naturally going to be a bit leggy, and your better players are going to be a bit leggy. And I think with that, at such an important time of the season as well, I think maybe it is starting to get to them a little bit. I mean, I saw Arne Slot after the game talk about the fireworks at Villa Park, and that was only for Liverpool and things like that. We do that every single week. And it's almost
is that what he said?
Yeah. The fireworks. I don't know whether they do that every week, but I assume it's because Liverpool are here. Is what he said.
Wow.
More or less, not word for word, but that's more or less what he said. And so, there's a little bit of almost arrogance there, I think, from him saying things like that. And I don't know, it almost seemed to me as if it was a little bit of sour grapes in that kind of in that aspect, if you like. So I think there may be a few cracks starting to appear, but I also think Liverpool are good enough to put those cracks to bed and will ride out the rest of the season. And I do honestly think that they'll get the business done and be lifting the title in May.
Funny that you say that, Billy. Very funny that you say that, Billy, because I'm gonna let everybody know something very interesting. Yeah? At this exact point last season, they had around about the same points. They're only 1 point off. They finished 3rd. Yeah. So everybody that was telling me, that is done, it's dusted, the league is Liverpool's and all them things there. we're starting to see the real Liverpool.
You said that.
I
Wait, do
see
you know
what-
what I don't like though? Wait,
I
do you
see
know what I
what-
don't like though? I don't like disingenuous. I don't like this. Like when guys come out and they. Wait, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. You had your speech. It's my turn to come in now.
Okay, go on,
Hooks, not long ago, just a few weeks ago, you were making videos about how the title's going to Liverpool. I'm losing faith. After the same Aston Villa game, when they came back, and then it was at the end of January, and you guys were all sitting there, you're like, we didn't sign no one. Oh, we can't do it. No. And now you're looking at Liverpool results. And it's funny, like you're looking at rival results. You're looking at what Liverpool's doing. And you're seeing them drop points. Just 2 draws, by the way. It wasn't like they lost. They dropped points, which was expected. No team was going to be flawless. And most Liverpool fans would have told you between this period and the end of the season, they expect to drop points quite frequently. But the problem will be is you will drop points too. Why are you so giddy? You haven't played West Ham yet. What's got this big smile, this extra pep in your step? Why are you feeling extra nice right now? Because your team hasn't done anything as of yet. You just seen another team drop points.
Okay. So a few things. You may not be aware of this because I don't know if you ever experienced it. But in a title race, draws are like losses, isn't it?
This is ridiculous.
It's very, very foreign to you. I understand the concept, very foreign to you. You're not used to it. Yeah. Now, the second thing is, because I don't like slander upon my name. I made a video called Liverpool Might. I even put it in capital letters.
I'm talking about the contents of the video, not the title.
That's great.
I watched
the
video. I'm an avid viewer of halftime hooks, big fan.
Hey, if people want to go and watch it and verify that you're chatting crap, they can go do so. Halftime hooks, you can see us right there. Now, the final thing, you think West Ham is beating my club at my ground on my birthday? Yeah. I don't know what drugs you did today, bro.
Well, it's your birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'll be there. Hooks, don't slip up, bro. Do not slip up, bro.
Didn't you make a video about? Didn't you make a video like this about Newcastle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did. I got. Yeah. I got.
Oh well.
Hooks, you've never
well.
experienced me trolling yet. You don't want to see that, bro. It's bad.
Can I ask a question? Hooks, how old were you when Arsenal last won the league title?
I was 2004, so I would have been 13, 14.
Just checking.
So, see, I was actually of an age where I comprehended football. This is why me and those other Arsenal fans, we're not in the same bag, innit? You know what I mean? We're not in the same bag. I know what I'm talking about. I was old enough, yeah? So, wait, how old was you the time you won the Premier League before the O's? Oh, you only won it once, right?
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love about Arsenal fans like you? What I love is that George asked a simple question, right? And straight away, you've done what most football fans do. Instead of giving an actual answer, you've gone, yeah, but Spurs. So, no, don't. We know we're shit. Don't worry about us. Like what? Like, don't worry. We're not sitting
press
here.
resistant. He's press resistant.
We haven't beaten Man United and started talking about how great we are. But we know what we are. We know what we are. You guys are just like
or do you?
This need to feel like you're City or United of old, or you need this need to feel more relevant than you are. Is crazy.
Not all of them, Sava. Dan is in the select few.
Oh yeah. I don't count Dan. He's the host. I don't count Dan.
No, but Dan's a good one. But you see,
I'm not a good one.
No, you're not.
I'm a bad apple.
I'm a bad apple. As a guy, Hooks, you're a great guy, bro. I'm nothing but love you. As an Arsenal fan, though, you're the nucleus, bro. You're the nucleus of that little, this harmony on the Arsenal fans. You're a part of it. You are.
I mean, it's okay when I'm posting my little small me, posting my videos on Instagram. Trying to get a bit of a following. All you Liverpool fans want to jump in and call me this and call me that and tell me this and tell me that. But God forbid, I ever tell you that you lot are on a slippery slope. And George, just to respond to your other thing, the reason why I'm focused on Liverpool is because Liverpool are first and they're keeping my spot in the table warm. Whoever was there, I would be looking at their team. It's not just Liverpool. It's not personal.
Your spot.
Why is it your spot?
Why is it my spot? Hey.
Wouldn't it be more? Wouldn't it be more like that second? Wait. Well, really quickly. But wouldn't second be your spot, considering you finished there numerous of seasons in a row? You guys haven't shown to finish first for 20 odd years. So when you talk about that being your spot, it's definitely not. It's been very cold over there for you.
Oh, interesting. So when I say it's my spot, it's not my spot, but everybody else is allowed to tell me, oh, this was the year that you was meant to win it. Oh, you was meant to win it. Man City fell off and it was, oh, this is your league to lose. But now when
that's because you said the expectation. You said you expect to win it. That's what you said at the start of the season. That's why. You put that expectation on your team. That's the problem with Arsenal fans. You seek you seek the validation, but you avoid the expectation, because when you sit there and you say, I expect this, but then when your team doesn't do it, you go, oh, but I'm just little hooks. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean if the team don't do it, the manager needs to sack. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Wait. I need to remind you.
Did you not expect your team to win multiple trophies this year?
I did. I expected my
multiple
team to win it. Sorry, guys.
Give more than one.
Wait,
like.
Sorry,
talk about going Tesco with a pound and trying to buy a TV, bro. What are we doing here?
I'm just saying. If you guys' standards aren't, you get me up here, that's a you man problem, innit? But I got high expectations for my club, innit? Because I've seen us do greatness. I've seen us do greatness. Yeah, I wasn't born in the 2000s. I was born in the 90s. That's right. Yeah, and I was the guy. And George, because George, you keep on trying to draw me out like I'm not the guy that's been telling every rival fan and every Arsenal fan. And now watch how when we win the league, all the Arsenal fans are gonna try run my lyric about Anfield '89. Everybody knows that's my lyric, but no, everybody laughed at me. But watch, when we win the league, all the Arsenal fans are gonna be shameless. All the ones online pretending that they was like, oh, Arsenal could never win the league. They're gonna be running my lyric. So don't worry, yeah, because I know you can feel it out. Anfield '89 is happening.
Hooks, you fully believe that you're winning the league?
He thinks he's winning at Anfield.
Look.
To be fair, he's been consistent. He said this to me from like October.
No, but that's the thing though, Cal. He's not being consistent because naturally, your mind is allowed to change. No, you're not. No one's holding that against you. If you want to change your mind, that's cool. You don't have to be the wrong and strong guy and hold down to your opinion because again, at the end of the transfer window, just 3 weeks ago, when you saw Ollie Watkins wasn't coming in, you were crying your eyes out, pretty much going, "The league's done. We can't do it. We ain't got a striker." But now, because you've seen Liverpool drop points in 2 games, and Arteta's had seen Marino score a few goals in strike, you're like, "Oh, yeah, we've got this now. Yeah, we've got a new striker, Marino, masterclass from Arteta. Oh, Liverpool have dropped points in 2 games. That means they're dropping points against Newcastle, Man City. Oh, like everyone's getting hyped up. Like we've seen Liverpool do this before. We've seen them drop a few points and then go back on a run. But they're not losing games. That's the thing. They haven't lost. You guys have lost games.
I'm going to be very consistent here. Hooks, if you don't win this league and we win it, you're going to want to block me on everything, bro.
Hey, wait. You want to sign his contract?
Yeah, I'm down.
You want to sign it with me?
Yeah, you're gonna have to block me on everything. Hooks.
Wait, you want to go petty with me?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm up for it.
Win this league.
I'm up for it.
I'll find you. I drive.
And I drive too, bro. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna run that.
I'll find you at parties, bro. Don't worry. Bro.
Just don't drive at the same time because you'll probably miss each other.
Let me bring Joe into this, man. What are you telling me? Because you're very neutral in this perspective. You're obviously watching things and got the popcorn out, I'm sure. Do you see this Do you see this title race going down to the wire? I mean, obviously, it's still very much in Liverpool's hands. They've dropped a few points. Arsenal got problems in their attack. How do you see it, mate?
I can't really say I'm a neutral, and the reason being because historically, the last 3 times Liverpool have won the top division, Leeds United have won the second division. That's happened on the last 3 occasions. So this season, I need to make it a 4. So I'm backing Liverpool because if Liverpool win it, then we'll go and do our business and win the second division.
Unfortunately, Joe's no longer with us. He's got.
I think it's Liverpool's. I do think they will win it. Because you're expecting Liverpool to drop more points and then Arsenal to do what they need to do. And I sort of agree with what George was saying, is like Moreno has scored a couple of goals. Are we going to hang our hat on him now for the rest of the season? I'm not too sure. Just think Liverpool have been there and done it as well, right? So I think they'll get it over the line. Dropping points against Villa's not that bad, really, is it? I don't think.
You'll be doing it next season.
What's that? Sorry,
I said you'll be doing it next season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think they'll do the business. Everton's was always going to be a tough one for them. The last game there, etc. You know, so the fixtures around the corner. Liverpool will just get back to business and start knocking off, and then Arsenal are running out of time, aren't they? Arsenal are running out of time, and I actually think West Ham. I know they've not. I think they've got one win since he came in. Is it? I don't think that's an easy game. I don't think that's an easy game for Arsenal. Whereas, you know, I look at Liverpool and yeah, fancy him. Yep, fancy him. So I just think Liverpool will have too much, and they've already got a healthy-ish lead. So yeah, I think they'll win the title.
Do you know what's mad? And I couldn't believe this earlier. I was on the show with Wolfie, Roms, and LB. Big up to them three. Man City beat Liverpool. It's in Arsenal's hands. That's mad. Literally this weekend, Man City beat Liverpool. If Arsenal win the other games, because we've got you at Anfield, we beat you. That's it. We can win the league. And I'm like, rah, that's how close it is. So that weekend, Cal, or this weekend, should I say, we've obviously got to do our job as well. That's how mad it can be. I never thought Arsenal would be in a chance of having it in their hands. I thought it was going to be like, wow. So you just must. I'm sorry, man. Like Liverpool cannot lose this league. If Arsenal win this league without a striker, and we come from being 7 points behind, it'll be even more of a bottle job than us, I think, man. So do you see the wheels coming off?
Do you think they'll get beat by the City that we saw last night?
No,
like,
I don't.
No.
But I've seen madder things and Man City.
I don't
can
think
turn
it'll be
it on
the
when they
same
want.
City, will it? I genuinely don't think it'll be the same City we saw last night. Just my opinion.
They did suffer another injury though. They've lost Stones now.
Yeah.
Is my point. What different City will you see?
Well, I think, look, just from my opinion, when I saw that team lineup yesterday, it almost stunk to me of we've conceded already. It almost like no Kovacic in centre mid, no De Bruyne as your chief playmaker. You know, Marmoush, Foden playing on the right rather than through the middle. Savio not playing on the wing. Kusanov in there as a youngster who's not ready for this. It just kind of stunk to me of, I'm not saying it's right. It just felt to me very much like he's more concerned by Liverpool, because even at half time last night, he didn't do anything to shake it up, mix it up. It was almost like they'd conceded as a team that they weren't going through. And I expect this weekend, I think you'll probably see a lot more of the legs in the team. I think you'll see Kovacic come back into midfield. I think you'll see De Bruyne play. I've got no doubt Haaland will probably dust down whatever knee injury he's got. He'll play. I just think with that and at the Etihad, you'll see a very different team. Plus, I don't think Liverpool and Madrid were absolutely sensational. I thought they were absolutely... Sorry to change the subject. I thought they were brilliant. Man for man.
You're right.
Powerful.
Valverde,
yeah,
class.
It was men v boys. It was absolutely men v boys. I've not seen City like that for 8 years. So we'll see. But listen, it'll be interesting. It's just difficult for me as a Spurs fan, Dan. Like, I want to see a title race because no one wants any one team to run away with it. But it's frustrating because for me to want to see a title race this year, it's them lot down the road that are in it, right? So, like, it's kind of like a catch-22, and because of that, I'm all for Liverpool running away with it. But our last comment I'll make on this, Dan. I think this has been the poorest Premier League I've ever seen.
Thank you.
I'm just putting that out there. I think it's so like no offense, your team, you haven't got a striker. You're second. Nottingham Forest being third. Sorry, Wolfie. # not sorry, Wolfie. You know, like I just feel like it looks like this is not a classic 3 or 4 really top teams with top players. Just feels a little bit dusty, I believe the word of the kids.
I hate that, Saba. I hate that. And the reason I hate that is because why? Because it's not the normal top 6. That's why.
No, because of the quality of the players. Like I'm looking at years gone by at teams that were in the top 4 and the quality of players all over the pitch, strikers, centre halves. I then look at it now and I go, meh. Like it just feels a bit meh. I don't see the quality of player in the
Don't
Premier
you
League.
think, Stabber, that's because the gap between the smaller teams and the bigger teams is closed, and the
100%.
smaller teams now have so much money to offer, they can attract big players from other leagues, and so they've improved so much that the top six and let's just say the Bournemouths and Fulhams and Brightons are so close to the likes of Chelsea, Tottenham, and United team wise.
Mate, listen, on that we agree, George. I don't doubt that. It's just when I look at Liverpool, when I look at Arsenal, when I look at City now, and then I look back in years gone by at the caliber of players that were playing in this league and winning titles, and I don't know. I just think all of football, if I'm brutally honest, I think all of football, the caliber of footballer now is shocking. If I'm honest,
See, I agree with Sava. I understand what Joe's saying in terms of it's great to see the competition. I think it's more competitive than it probably ever has been. But in terms of the quality, I think the quality is so bad now. Like if you look at the team, look, there's some unbelievable players in the Premier League. Do not get it twisted. Some of them will go down as all-time greats at the moment, like the Mo Salahs and Kevin De Bruyne's of this world, right? But when you look at the actual overall quality of some of it, you think, wow, really? This is it right now? Like Manchester City are falling off of a cliff and it's like brilliant, but then no one's really properly capitalizing. We're talking about Liverpool potentially slipping up here. Like there's not really one team. And I mean, it kind of feels like a Leicester City year for me. You know, when everybody was rubbish and it was like Leicester, really? And at one stage, I wondered if Forest could do the unthinkable. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Slot and Liverpool, and this isn't me being bitter because I believe Liverpool are going to win the league, and I stand by it. I still think they are. I love Hooks, and I think Hooks is, absolutely right to be sticking with it as a gooner. Maybe I should be doing it more, but I kind of feel like I've tapped out a bit from what I've seen from my ownership on my board. But I'll say it now, if Liverpool win the league, I won't remember this Liverpool team as a great. I won't remember them as Centurions or as the treble winners. They won't care. Liverpool won't give a damn. They won't care. They won't be remembered because trust me, they'll remember that team forever, right? But I've got to agree with what Sav is saying there. But look, I don't know, Cal, you kind of started and then got kicked out, and now you're back. Do you think you can slip this up, bro? Are you quite comfortable? You got Man City, Newcastle next, and then it starts to get a little bit tricky towards the back end of the season. What are you telling me, bro?
I always thought we'd win the league. Well, no, I said we'd win the league after we beat West Ham away from home. I still think that's the case. I've never been one of these fans who said we're going to run away with it. I expect it to be close towards the end. I expect it to be a couple points in it. I still think we have enough to do it, though. And I still think we will do it. I think we draw the Man City game. I don't think we lose. I think we draw that. Historically, we don't travel well at the Etihad. So I expect to draw there. But I also, even though I think we'll drop points between now and the end of the season, I think you guys will as well. And I think that's where we've got that little buffer where it will come in handy. I think if we were both level on points right now, I'd probably give the edge to Arsenal and say because of the fixture list and everything. But because of your injuries and your inconsistencies, I think we will have enough to get over the line. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not nervous, Dan. I am. Like that game yesterday, that put me in a new place. Like I didn't sleep well last night, bro, because I'm watching Nunes like sky it from a couple yards out in an open goal. Like that does bad things to a human being. Like so, I'm not going to.
You are Moreno, Carl.
What, Mikel Moreno?
Yeah.
It depends whether the Liverpool fan base is going to cancel me or not. I'll answer that offline, George.
The best tweet was the one you sent, Billy, on the group, which was if you put Darwin Núñez' brain in a dog, it would fucking moo.
Yeah. Like,
I just looked at that and thought that is unreal. Like,
shall I tell you what annoys me the most about the Núñez stuff? I don't even want to go on a tangent, but I'm here now. So if I get cancelled by the Liverpool, I get cancelled. When we found out we were getting Darwin Núñez, there was a section of fan base like myself and Matt, and there was others who were like, no, he's going to be fantastic. They were comparing him to Torres, comparing him to Suarez. And I was like, look, just chill, guys. He's had one good season. Let's just see what he does. Lo and behold, first season wasn't great. I've gone, all right, let's give him a second season. See how second season was even worse. Now we're going through this season. He's been crap all the way up until the Brentford game, scores a brace, and fans like myself are told to hold that and be quiet. And then when he misses a chance like yesterday, it's crickets again. It's so bad that people are blaming Szoboszlai and saying Szoboszlai should have shot instead of passing it to Núñez. I'm seeing Núñez fans saying he shouldn't have shot. Sorry, he shouldn't have passed it, he should have shot. The football I've grown up watching is that you play probabilities, right? So Szoboszlai could have taken a shot there, but it's a 50-50. Emi Martinez just got voted best goalkeeper in the world. We know what he's like in one-on-one situations as well. He's a beast. So why take that chance when you can lay it off to someone who's got an open goal to shoot at? this Nunes stuff, it's gonna drive me insane to the point where Slot's even spoken about him today. When he came on against Wolves the other day, one thing that Liverpool fans could never criticize Nunes for was his work rate and effort. He's not even doing that now. Like, the guy's attitude stinks. He's too emotional. And yesterday, for me, that was just it for me.
You can't blame
Like,
Zoboslai yesterday, in my opinion.
You can't, bro.
Nah, you're putting it on the plate for him. He's just got to put it in. Like, I can't believe people are looking at Zoboslai there.
I said, if Bergkamp's in that position and he sees Henry to the left of him, we all know how fantastic Bergkamp is. Bergkamp's passing that ball. Odegaard's passing that ball. Cole Palmer's passing it.
Hey, Cal.
I'm not comparing Henry to Nunes.
Ever compare Bergkamp to Szoboszlai again.
No, I'm not doing that. I'd never do that. In the same way, I don't like you guys comparing Saka to Salah, but we'll move on anyway.
It's a lot closer.
But I do think we'll have enough. But Dan, I'm annoyed because I've seen us drop points from a winning position against Newcastle, Fulham. No, sorry, not Fulham. Newcastle, Everton, Man United, and then now this game is frustrating. It's really frustrating. But we've got a points gap. We've got a points lead. So if you're going to
beating City, you're beating City at the Etihad.
Nah, we're not.
Wow.
No, we'll draw.
See, but okay, hear me out. Yeah. Okay. So obviously, there's a lot of people in the world that think I'm crazy because I think Arsenal can stay in the league.
No, surely not, Hooks.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that think that, like, I'm deluded. All the buzzwords on football YouTube and the internet is crazy. But what happens? This is hypothetically speaking. Yeah, what happens if you actually draw to City, then draw to Newcastle, and obviously you win the two respective games? What then? Because then it's like, oh, right, Hooks isn't crazy no more. Like, will you actually be worried at that point? If you take 3 points from a possible 9, at that point, will it be like, oh, shit?
Then I'll just be like, well, we've got to do our business from now to the end of the season. Okay. Remember, I've been here with City, you know. I've had sleepless nights with Man City. So we've all, and I'm not even saying this in a disrespect, and you probably will say the same thing. You guys aren't City, and neither are we. So that's why we're both confident going into this. If this was City now, I'm not even doing the panel show, Dan. I'm calling in sick. Like, I'm like, Dan, I can't make it today. Like, the dog's eating my homework. Like, I'm not doing it. But we're confident because neither of us are City. Neither of us have that pedigree to say, yeah, we can do this year in, year out. We've done it once, but even when we did it, it wasn't a close race. We just ran away with it and then just maintained our standards. In a race, we've always lost to City.
Look, this is the thing. Hooks mentioned earlier that Liverpool are 1 point off where they were last season, and they finished third and that. But the quality of the team, Man City aren't the same. You're not competing with Man City. Arsenal have dropped off. You've got injuries, and you're not the same. So if I'm looking at the fixtures for the rest of the season, Arsenal are dropping more points, in my opinion, than Liverpool are dropping points. And that's it at the end of the day, I think. And that's why I think Liverpool will go on to win it, because I can't see you gaining those points on Liverpool's dropped points. And
see where I'm at with you, Billy.
I feel like you will drop more points than they will.
The reason I have to agree, I'd love to disagree with you, by the way. The reason I'm going to agree with you is because in the last 12 games, we've caught Liverpool up by 2 points. And in the next 13, we have to catch you up by 6 or whatever it is now. That doesn't fill me with confidence, because we could only catch you up by 2 with our best 11. Now we don't have a forward line. Now I know people say it's extreme, but we don't really. I mean, unless you rate what Sterling's and, you think Trossard and a 17-year-old Waneri is going to be enough to win us the league. Marino up top's going to be enough to win us the league. Yes, Martinelli's coming back. We might have Saka at the back end of the season, but if I'm honest, I'd rather we didn't bother, if I'm honest, and just see him through the next season to look after him. But that's why, if we had our fully fit 11, I would be a very, very different Arsenal fan right now going, do you know what? Maybe they're starting to break a bit. Now you can still go on and win the league even if our players were at their best fitness. But that's where I'm kind of at, man, with Arsenal. And I think at the weekend, I'm not even confident going into the West Ham game. I've said we're going to win it, my prediction, of course, but my predictions have been wrong, trust me, people. And I look at that situation and think, yeah, could Arsenal comfortably go and take? We lost there with our best 11 last year, 2-0, yeah, at the Emirates. So they're a team that can do something. But Surfer, what are you telling me, bro? You hate both these clubs, Liverpool and Arsenal. That's a fact. So what are you telling me out of this title race before we come to the next segment, man? What are you saying?
Well, if I had my way, I'd have the league disqualify and hand the title to Forest. So that'd be my vision of this. So, but listen, I think it's interesting now. Because Liverpool played last night, that means they played the game more. So it's on the other foot now. For weeks, it's been Liverpool with the game in hand, and you trying to match them or anything like that, and they would pull away. Now it's you guys. I think up until the cup final, Cal. I think right. It's like you. They'll catch up with you on the cup final weekend. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, is he going to start Marino at the weekend? Is he going to start the three that played at Leicester? Do you know what I mean? Is Marino's his secret weapon off the bench if you're not scoring? That's going to be the main thing. You guys have just got to get the job done. You get the win on Saturday, all the pressure's on Liverpool to do something at City. And Cal's right. Liverpool's record at City is appalling. Absolutely appalling. Whereas like their home record against Newcastle is fantastic. Do you know what I mean? So records do matter in this league. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I'm praying if you even drop points against West Ham, Hooks, you better not show your face in any stream. I swear to God right now, right?
We're not show your face. Bro. It's impossible.
I know, of course, because you haven't dropped.
West Ham beat you last season, didn't they? Away from home.
Have you?
But they didn't play us on my birthday, bro. It's on my birthday. We're not gonna lose. Winning.
The stars are aligning for you, aren't they, Hooks?
Yeah, your birthday holds such power. Yeah, your birthday holds such power. Of course, yeah, sure. But it's going to be interesting to see because it's going to be you guys catching up for the next couple of weeks. Let's see. I don't know who's your game after West Ham.
We got West Ham, and then we got bloody Forest away on Wednesday, man.
All
That's
right.
going to be
So, an easy one.
It's all right, though. That's
gonna be
birthday week, so they'll still win that one as well, right?
Forest ground though, midweek under the lights. Wow, that's horrible, man.
No,
yes, it is horrible.
That Trent River wind.
Forest. I think we'll draw with Forest. Hence why you losing to Manchester.
Wait, so you're dropping points?
Yeah, this is why them losing to Manchester City and then drawing to Newcastle is very important.
So will your mind? So wait. Just off of what you've said there, then is your mind? Will it change completely? Just if you guys drop points and then they pick up points, so they beat Newcastle.
No, because I've already factored in that we're drawing to Forest. Like me.
Yeah, no. So that's my point. With that factored in, let's just say the Liverpool. What you factored in for Liverpool doesn't happen, and Liverpool pick up points against Newcastle. They win because, like Winter Surfers pointed out, they've got a very good record at home against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Let's just say they draw at the Etihad because, again, let's just point out, Man City are rubbish this season. They're not the same team what they usually are. So it's very likely that Liverpool are going to get a better result than they usually do. So if that does happen, what happens to your calculations?
Truth be told, let's just say Liverpool draw to City, but then beat Newcastle, but then we're winning against West Ham, and then say we draw to Nottingham Forest. I think we're beating United. I've still gained points on them. They've got 5 out of 9. I've got 7 out of 9. So I've still gained. So I'm still in a positive position. So this isn't even the period where I think Liverpool's going to lose the league. They're making it easier for me. That's what they're making it easier for me. Their period is the Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, back to back. That's where I have them losing the league. They're bottling it a bit earlier than what I anticipated. So, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens, bro. But
have you started your birthday celebrations early or something and not told us? I don't know. I don't know where you get. I don't know the calculations you make up. I mean, I don't know. It sounded like basically you win and you draw your next game. It's possible that Liverpool draw and win the next game, and we're just at the same stage as we were.
No, we're not.
That's all.
No, we're not. Because they would have got 5 points because they drew to. They've already dropped points.
What if Liverpool win both games?
Yeah.
Then we would. Okay, then we're even. Then we'd be even. So then my
What?
original.
No, because do you know what it is? It's because Hooks keeps factoring in the Aston Villa and Everton game to make his point stand, but we're not looking at it from there. We're looking at it from this point. We're looking at it from today onwards from today. You've not gained points onwards from today. You've lost points if that's
from today. Okay, because we haven't played yet. Okay, what do you do? What am I meant to do?
No, but that's the point. Is
I
you keep no Hooks. No. You're not listening, bro. You keep factoring in the Aston Villa game and going, oh, they've dropped points in 6 points out of 9. We're not talking about the out of 9. We're just looking at the next 2 games, right? Because you're playing on the weekend, then midweek. They're playing on the weekend, then midweek. So I'm just talking about those 2 games in particular. You've not gained on them if you drop more points than them. That's what we're trying to clarify.
Oh, but
seven games at Anfield is massive, by the way. That super chat, that is massive. Yeah. 7 games at Anfield. There's only Forest that's beaten them at Anfield this season. So that for me, that sways that way as well, man. I can't lie. Look, man, you know, I love you, Hooks, and I love to admire. I wish I was more optimistic at times, but sometimes I have to be realistic, say what I think, and I just think this is going to be Liverpool's. But look, we're going to have to fight them all the way. That's for sure. And look, we're going to move because, listen, before we do move, there's over 1,000 people in here. Make sure you do me a favor, hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe as well. Make sure you're following all of these guys, man. They all put out unbelievable content. So make sure you do that. Make sure you go and hit up all of these guys on their socials and their YouTube. Look at these fireworks from Hooks, man. That's unbelievable.
Birthday fireworks. Birthday fireworks.
And the balloons now as well. What's happening here? Big up to you all, guys. Listen, people. Let's move to some protests. I want to talk and understand what the hell is going on at both these clubs, Chelsea and Spurs. They're not happy at all. 2 clubs that I can't stand, if I'm honest with you. I love the people on the panel, but I can't stand their football clubs. Let's start with Sava because I want to understand what's actually happening at Tottenham Hotspur, and try and get someone. I mean, like I've known Sava for a while.
Me and you both, mate.
Well, look, he says it out. I think.
Really sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, go on, Cal. Go on.
Chelsea fans are. I get why Tottenham fans are. Are Chelsea fans protesting?
Okay, let's start.
They're trying to. They're trying to. They're trying to.
What?
Do you know what? Do you know what it is, Cal? Right?
It's entitlement. Entitlement.
Do you know what's mad, right? I actually had the same response when I was told this, and I was like, right. So whenever I'm talking on Chelsea and saying, I think Chelsea, I hate them, but in my opinion, this is what's going wrong, and this is, I think, how they need to put it right. I'm shouted down, told that I'm just a hater on Chelsea, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm a scumbag, and all this crap from Chelsea fans, and I just can't stand Chelsea, which is kind of true. I can't stand Chelsea, but for me, I hope it continues what's happening because it's brilliant to see. But I don't really know what the fan base are moaning about then, because 1 minute they're telling me to shut up, the next minute they're protesting to get the ownership out. What's happening, Surfer? Like, what way is it?
That's like me going into work and saying, look, boss, you're paying me too much. Can you start taking some money away, please?
I believe, yeah, that's very true. I believe all football fans suffer with, in terms of, they're happy when they win, they're sad when they lose. 6 weeks ago, our fans were singing, we got our Chelsea back. 6 weeks on, they want their Chelsea back, so they can't make up their minds to begin with. I believe this is to do with the run of form, a combination of the run of form and the transfer window not doing anything. This is what I think, because the board hasn't changed, the sporting directors haven't changed, the ownership hasn't changed, the model hasn't changed since last year or the year before, right? So there was no protest the year before, no protest after Poch sacked, whether you wanted him or not, no protest after the manager links came out and Maresca and McKenna were top 2, no protest after Maresca was hired, no protest after the summer transfer window when I thought we didn't get what we needed. But because we bought Sancho and Neto, the board just went like with the keys to the Chelsea fan base with names that people recognise, and they got distracted. No protest after we went out of the League Cup or anything like that. No protest during the winning run. It's just now my cynicism of one of my many cynicisms about this protest, and it's been proven this week, is I think it's to do with run of form and the transfer window. I also think there's so many messages. There's no one. This is why I credit the Spurs lot. It's leave Yannick out. That's the message at Spurs. With us, it's Bluco out, Clearlake out, sporting directors out, Maresca out, change the model, or spend more money or stuff like that. And there's no like
There's no United fan base. So, yeah, there's no United fan base.
It's not United.
No.
No, it's not United. My cynicism is this. It's like, okay, so I hope the protests happen. No problem. I bet the protests fine. But will it continue to the next game? Or if we win our next 3 games, will the protests continue? Because I think it won't. If we win our next 3 games, I think there'll be no protests mentioned whatsoever. That's my whole cynicism to it. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to listen, and I know this will probably sound pot kettle black because I'm going to be asked in a minute about the protests at my club. But I'm at the risk of alienating every Chelsea fan ever. How bloody entitled are you lot? Like, in the last 20 years, I believe you're the most. You're the most. What's the word I'm looking for? You're the most decorated football club in England, if not Europe, for 20 years. You've won everything over and over and over again. You then have 2 difficult seasons with new owners who have been there for how long have the owners been there? Is this their 2nd season or their 3rd?
It's their third. It's their third.
They've been there for less than 3 years, and and you're protesting. I don't know what you're protesting about. You guys haven't got any real problems at all. Not having a go at you, by the way. But what are you protesting at? What it is I think a lot of fans are losing sight, and I don't know if George will agree with me this from a Spurs perspective. I think a lot of fans are losing sight on what is a bad moment in time versus what's been bad for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. You guys are having a bad time, right? That doesn't mean your whole ownership needs to go. You've had one bad transfer window, i.e. in terms of letting players go and not signing many in. For years, you've been the envy of so many football clubs up and down this country going, look at them spending their hundreds of millions every window. I don't get it, Surfer. I just don't get it.
That's my main cynicism of it, because this wasn't happening during the first half of the season. No one mentioned the word protest whatsoever because we were winning. We were second. When did you hear any? You guys you have Chelsea fans on your panel. When did you hear the word protest during that run? You didn't hear that word protest whatsoever. And the buzzword is always standards in this fan base. So the standards 6 weeks ago were fine when we're in the top 4, we're behind Liverpool, and we're singing we've got our Chelsea back. And now the standards are not. You want your Chelsea back. That's my whole cynicism to it. It's like it does. You're only doing this because of the run of form and the transfer window. You could have done it last summer. You could have done it. It would have made more of an impact if you protest during the winning run. Do you know what I mean?
So,
you could have gone, we're winning, but it's like.
Can you imagine if every time a football team went on a 7 or 8 game bad run, everyone protested for their owners to be out every 7 or 8 game run? Like it's madness. And I know you're probably going to think pot kettle black because I'm about to be asked by Dan about our protests, but it just feels crazy.
I think it's like what you pointed out there. I think the biggest issue with the Chelsea protests, and obviously I've spoken with different people, different Chelsea fans, and it's like they all have their own agendas with the protests. Like Andrew's pointed out, some people want, like, what's his name, the sporting directors out, the guys that come over from Brighton, they're fuming, they're going, get the sporting directors out. Some want Enzo Maresca out, some are just Igbali and Boli out, like, let's get Bluco out. And it's really weird. Like there's no united goal for what the protest is. So ultimately the protest will be pointless. And I don't know if anyone saw the guy that called into BBC Sport. He was an absolute mess. So when they started asking him questions, he was going left, right. He didn't know what to say. So he made the protest look even more like a joke. And that's the problem, is I think the people leading the protests aren't taken serious and they don't have a united goal. So then the rest of the protest.
Let's just be real, George, right? Look, I think it's funny because obviously I'm an Arsenal fan. But if I'm taking my Arsenal hat off for a second, right? When you've spent over £1 billion that they have spent, and the answer is we need to spend more money, something's gone wrong, right? Something's gone wrong at your club when you've spent that much money and your answer is I need to spend more. Now, on top of that, and Surfer, to be fair, would agree with me here, when you've got no goalkeeper that is better than Kepa or Petrovic, right? that is still at the club, that is an issue when you've spent that much money. When you've got no striker at the club that's better than Nicholas Jackson, there's a huge problem, because I don't know everything about football, but I know quite a lot about it. I've never owned a football club. But if I was in that position, the first two positions that I would have signed would have been a world-class goalkeeper and a world-class striker. They're the two positions that wherever you want to go in life in terms of winning trophies, silverware, particularly Premier League titles, I can't think of a shocking goalkeeper that's won the Premier League. Please try and shout one out. I can't think of a shocking striker other than if you was to look at Man City and said they won one without one. When they didn't really, did they? Let's be real. They had world-class players throughout their squad. So those two positions, I would say, are probably the most important two positions. And Chelsea have gone now 2 to 3 seasons in, sacking Poch, sacking Potter, and now they're at Maresca, and they still don't have a goalkeeper or a striker that's half decent, let alone class. I just think it's neglect of certain positions. I just think it's proving that they don't quite know what they're doing in terms of this recruitment structure. Now, I can't answer the question about what they want, but I imagine they want better, because it hasn't been great, has it, the recruitment? I don't look at the Chelsea squad. I know Don disagrees with me and thinks it's better than Liverpool still, which is just unbelievable, by the way. Yeah. But when I look at it, I personally, I like Caicedo a lot. I like Palmer. I think Lavia's a baller when he is fit. I do like Pedro Neto, but he isn't particularly showing it much at Chelsea, in my opinion. And I don't mind Malo Gusto. Then I'm struggling after that. I'm really struggling after that to put any of these guys into my squad. So that's where I'm at, man. But I'll let the panel.
I think that's the thing for me. I could understand the Chelsea protest if it was directed at those people who have been allowed to assemble a squad worth £1 billion and still don't have a spine of a squad. Now, I could completely understand it if they were united on that point of getting those people who've been allowed to do that out of the club. But it seems like there's, like Jordan and Winter said, everyone's got a different idea of what they want to protest and a different agenda, and it's not united at all. So it's just all over the place. If they could come together and say, this thing is the major thing that's severely wrong. The ownership are clearly spending money. It's how they've spent the money that is just utterly shambolic. Then I could completely understand it and get on board. And I think a lot of us could probably understand it. There's certain entitlement, you could say, because they've still spent £1 billion, but they've spent it in the wrong way ultimately. If that was the ultimate reason, then I would be able to say, yeah, fair enough. But it's like I said, there's a million. It seems like there's 1,000,001 different reasons, and it's just not unite. Like you say, it's all over the place, man.
I think they're right to be annoyed, though, right? Like, I think if we were to all go around the panel, maybe not in everyone's case, maybe Spurs fans might have something to say with the way that they spent the Bale money all them seasons ago. But even me as a Leeds United fan, seeing some of the signings we've bought, I think if we were asked, if your club was to spend £1 billion now, would you be content, or would you believe that they would be able to assemble a good squad by the end of that? I think we'd all go, yeah.
The thing is, though,
they won't.
But what if they get top four? But Joe, sorry, hang on. What if they get top four? I think what a lot of people are forgetting here is, yes, we're focusing in as football fans on the 1 billion. We know that Chelsea have overspent on some players, but Chelsea have also, to give them a little bit of credit here, Chelsea have also recouped a hell of a lot of that money. You know, they've also sold a lot of players and made a lot of money. So it's not like it's just 1 billion that's gone out the door. They've sold a lot of players. This has been a complete overhaul in the squad in the space of 2 years. It's a brand new squad. Unless I'm wrong, it feels like it's a completely new 25, 30 man squad. Now, yeah, people will go 1 billion should you be buying you the league, but where they were coming from, they were never going to overtake that Man City team 2 years ago. They were never. It didn't matter if you spent 4 billion. You weren't overtaking that Man City team. They've been too good, right? Have they made mistakes? Yes, I think they have. But at the end of the day, if they were to get Champions League football this year and win the Conference League, you could turn around and go, okay, from where they were last year, this year they've now got Champions League and a Conference League. They're back in the big time. They can go and spend again to get those bigger players. So isn't it a fine balance of, have they had a bad season? Are they as bad as we think? I don't think they've got a bad squad. I don't think and again, I don't do Dan. You know me long enough, Dan. I don't do these crazy words like, "Oh my God, they're amazing," or "they're shit." I don't think I think they've got a good squad that certainly is capable of top 4. I think if they don't get top 4, I think that or 5th could get Champions League. If they don't get Champions League, I do think they failed. But if they do get Champions League, what is all this drama about? If they get Champions League, they've progressed from last year. They're back in the Champions League.
Good squad, having spent that much money, though.
Yeah, but the difference is, Joe, is and again, this just sounds like I'm sticking up for Chelsea. I'm just trying to keep level-headed here, right? The difference is, I think back in the day when Chelsea used to spend big money under Roman, you'd see huge, great, big players coming in. You know, we're looking at the Balaks coming in and the Drogbas coming in and Lampards. We're looking at top worldies, right? Now I think they've gone down a different route, which that's each to their own. They've done that by design, which is a very young squad. They've got a very, very young squad. So they've not gone out and bought £100 million on a Neymar or a Bellingham or whatever it may be. They've gone for very young players to build and grow a team.
The thing is, though, Sava, they have that. Oh, it's just me that throws on Sava.
No.
Oh,
No.
oh,
No,
no.
you're good.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say they have, and that's the thing, whereas I'm confused because I don't think the Chelsea model's changed much. As you said, Roman used to sign a bunch of players that never actually played for Chelsea and a bunch of young players. They used to have 40 players out on loan, just selling them, sort of just keeping the money churning, you know, rolling in the money in the bank books from all these loans and all these other deals. But the only difference was they used to throw a big name in there every now and then. Now, because the way that the market is, they're not getting the big names. They're still spending. Mudryk was 85 million. Wesley Fofana was 80 million.
Can I ask you,
Caicedo,
are there the big names that these days? This is what I keep hearing. Like Arsenal fans say they want world-class players. Chelsea want world-class players. City. I don't think there's big names out there. I don't think there's top pros like there used to be. That like right now, Jules, I was just asking you, right now, if you're Chelsea, how many top strikers are there that come in and guarantee you 25 goals a season?
No, you're right. There's probably, you can count on your one hand about the amount of players in the world that are like that. You are right in that sense. I think the quality's gone down, but like you pointed out there, the only difference in their strategy is a lot of Chelsea. What they've done is they've admired Brighton's strategy. They saw what Brighton were doing and how they developed the Cucureas, developed all these players, and they took their sporting directors and said, "Do what you're doing over in Brighton, but do it here." And they're trying to do that by bringing in all these younger players and thinking it's going to work out, but they're not realizing that football doesn't work that way. You need experience. It's not just talent on the pitch. You need mentality there. And the mentality only comes from experienced players who have won things before.
George, the point on that is that what Chelsea have done wrong, and I agree with what Sava's saying in terms of strikers today, my generation look better. But then my dad will tell me his generation look better. Do you know what I mean? When they're looking back at strikers. But irrespective of that, the point is, Chelsea have needed a striker, just like Arsenal for the last 2 to 3 years. The fact they haven't bought a striker, that's the issue I think Chelsea fans should have. Forget the quality or what it is. It's the actual profile. They've needed a 9. That's the big difference.
Who would you get?
And we need a striker for 7 years.
Who
7 years.
Victor Gyökeres, I think. Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, if you've got 80 to 100 million, like Chelsea have, I think the first player you go out and get is Gyökeres, in my opinion.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not.
But they had the option, though. That's the thing. Is like
the one everyone wants.
Did they not have the option to go get Osimhen? They literally all summer. We remember all summer it was Osimhen's going Chelsea, or he's not leaving. They literally turned him down, and then he ended up falling into Galatasaray's hands on a loan.
Yeah, but it's because he's a name, George. He's a name. Look, if Chelsea were going to have been smart, you'll all laugh, and I don't really give a shit, right? Chris Wood was out of contract in 6 months. Right, there we go. Guarantees at least 10 goals a season in the Premier League. It's already on 18 goals. He scored more than Isak this season. That everyone tells me is worth 150 million.
If Chelsea had gone and got someone like Chris Wood, and we're talking about them protesting, right?
They'd have been protesting that signing.
Okay, you're going to protest the guy who scored 18 goals already in what people tell me is one of the most defensive teams. No, Sava. He scored more than 10 goals in every single Premier League campaign he's been in.
That's not true.
Wolfie, I think
are you telling me Chris Wood would score less goals than Nicholas Jackson in that Chelsea team?
The point is, we're talking about, again, this is where we've got to be sensible. If we're talking about what do Chelsea need to buy to win titles and be back to where they were,
A goal
the
scorer.
conversation can't then be Chris Wood. Right, let's be brutally honest. Chris Wood's a decent striker.
You can laugh. It might not be sexy enough
I'm not
for
laughing.
you, but
No.
his goals are pretty sexy, mate.
Wolfie, the difference is, and I'll ask Surfer this, right? If you guys went and bought Chris Wood last year, and even if you got you 10, 15 in one season, your fans are not going to go, love this board, loved it. They want
Entitled arrogance. That's what that is.
No. Do you know what? Do you know what though? While we'll laugh at the name, because we've got Sancho and Neto, the profile of a Wood would actually suit us better.
Thank you.
That type of striker would actually suit us. Would that?
Durant
I'm not
was
saying
there
Wood
in
is
the
Would
better,
your
just
fan
saying
base agree? Would your whole fan
No.
base agree if you signed Chris Wood?
No. That they probably they wouldn't.
It doesn't matter if they agree or don't. I did not want Chris Wood at Forest. But when he starts scoring goals, you damn well shut up and respect it. That's the point.
And also, I feel like people are also failing to acknowledge that Chelsea's been a graveyard for strikers for the 10, 15 years now.
Well, that's why
since Drogba, they've not had a good striker. They had Diego Costa, and that's it. Everyone else has been rubbish.
It's been since Costa. Since Costa left in 17, every single one of those strikers has been, not very good. I already know who they're going to go for. We'll be linked to Gyökeres and Osimhen, but we will sign Liam Delap. That's what will happen this summer. That will happen.
I like him though. I like him though.
I know he's good player, but what I'm saying is, he's not. It's not fair to him to be the leading line of this team.
That I agree with. Yeah. To put it's the weight. He'd have the weight of the world on his shoulders almost.
But that's the model. But that's the model. You see, that's the model. We'll be briefed. Oh, we tried to go for Gyökeres. We tried to go for Osimhen, but it just didn't work out. And Liam Delap will be the number one. That will be the striker that we get. He's very good.
Put a goal scorer in Chelsea's team or Arsenal's team. Arsenal win the league with Chris Wood. If you had Chris Wood from the start of the season in the form he's in, Joe, you can snigger all you want, bro. All right, Joe, you can snigger all you want.
Wolfie, you're really not him.
Goals humble your opinions. Goals humble your opinions.
But where was Chris Wood last season on your bench, right?
No, he scored 14 goals last season when we were in a relegation.
Behind Awoni, right? Behind Awoni, right?
No.
He didn't start last season.
He didn't start the start of last season because Taiwo was on a streak of 7 games in a row. But then Taiwo got injured. Chris Wood came in. As soon as Nuno came in, Chris Wood came in and lit up because he suits that Nuno formation. And I agree with Surfer. He would fit into that Chelsea mold. You still
I don't think
because
I don't think Chris Wood,
man. He was at my team. I get it.
Man. I know. You got Bamford, man. I don't know what you're
no, but let's be honest, Wolfie. What you're not actually doing here is I don't think Chris Wood play. He tried to play in a Newcastle team that was more on the front foot, and he's coming up against low blocks. He didn't look like the same player. Going into a big team, you're playing against teams that are constantly in a low block. I don't think Chris Wood's gonna be the goal scorer that you think.
Who's got the highest conversion rate, shots to goal in the Premier League?
That's not my point that I'm making here. Playing against low blocks is just different. It's different for a lot of. You're seeing it right now for a player like Solanke, who's having to adapt his game and adjust for the fact that he's not playing against the runner play anymore. It's not just running behind. There's two to three players there. There's now 7 behind the ball.
Cristiano Woodinho, George. You'd want him at Spurs.
No, I'm not saying he's a bad striker. I'm simply just highlighting that.
I'm not put him in a team that provides chances and he scores more.
The highest order. To suggest that Chris Wood should be operating in a top 6 side, I'm sorry. This was a guy that was only bought by Newcastle to relegate Burnley. He was at Leeds United before that, then Burnley, then Newcastle. Come on, is it?
Joe, he is operating in a top 6 side. What are you talking about?
Wolfie, right? Let's say you get Europe. Right? Do you think your chairman's not going out and getting a new number 9?
We need another number 9. Yes,
right. And will he start? And will he start next season?
No.
No, I guarantee I will have the bet now as a Leeds United fan that your owner,
can't wait to see Chris Wood at the Bernabeu, I can't wait to see him
go out. If you get Champions League, your owner will put Chris Wood on the bench quicker than you can click your fingers. They will have a new striker. Then what? Then what we saying?
You've not been watching Forest this season. Then,
I'm telling. All right.
Hang on, Joe. When you had a go at me earlier, right? When I said about the standard of footballers now, Listen to it. We are debating Chris Wood.
I'm enjoying
Going
what
to a
Forest
club
are
that
doing,
want to
but I'm
win
not
a
having
title. Like this is how far the standard has gone in
So,
world
Saba, would you
football.
have expected Isak or Wood right now to be on more goals in the Premier League?
Right, so you try to argue that Wood's better than
Chris
Isak
Wood's
now
having
because
a-
he's
No,
scored
I'm
more
not.
goals.
Yeah,
Is that
No,
what
I'm
we're doing?
not.
Yeah,
I am
yeah, I
saying
respect
that
Isak.
Chris Wood
Yeah.
can score goals.
I
End
think
of
Chris Wood-
discussion.
I
This
think
is his
Chris Wood's
first
having a-
prolific
he's
season.
having a-
This
he's
is
having a
his
James
first
Beattie
ever
season.
prolific
He's
season.
No,
having a
he's
James
not
Beattie
because he averages over 10 goals a season.
No, but
Every
but
time
when
he's in
you're
the Premier
saying
League.
average
Yeah,
is
but
10
that's
goals
not
a season,
impressive.
He's
10
currently on
goals a
what?
season
He's
is
on-
not impressive.
That's what I'm saying. He's
At
on 18
Burnley,
goals now.
not impressive.
Yeah, but he's on 18 goals
Anywhere.
now, so he's performing above what he normally performs. That's what I'm saying. He's having a James Beattie season. I don't
Yes.
think he'll continue to replicate this. Plus, the age he's at, you can't build an attack around him if you're Chelsea Football Club. He'd be brilliant for Chelsea as a backup number 9, but not as a
Short
starter.
term. I'm not saying build your team for the next 5 years at Chelsea around Chris Wood. I'm
That's
saying
what they're trying to-
right
they're trying to
now
get that player,
at
though.
Chelsea, right now in this moment, if they had Chris Wood up front, they would be doing a lot better than 6th or wherever they currently are.
Look, I'll be honest. I think Chelsea are missing a trick because they did. I mean, you bought Torres from Liverpool. We've got a striker you can have if you want.
Now I just
So-
stop before you say this name, all right? Because I defended you with hooks, all right? So you just watch what you say next, all right?
I love what Callum's doing there, man.
No,
Do
I
you know what? I'll say
I'm
this,
trying to look
Cal.
out.
I'll say this, Cal. Arsenal got more chance of getting Nunes than Chelsea, man. Let me tell you that.
I'll run it
Let
up,
me
bro.
tell you that.
I do it.
Arsenal do that. Oh, we're the ones who go and get sloppy seconds, man. Look, to come to a close, I want to touch on Spurs. George and Sava, I want to chuck this at you because you're protesting to get. Well, I don't. You tell me what you're protesting over. Sava, I'll start with you, man. What's happening?
24 years of nothing changing is essentially, I believe, what we're protesting over. It's it's catch-22 because the owners, when they came in 2000, 2001, they actually turned around and told the world that they weren't interested in football, right? But yet we still had the majority of the fan base for the last 20 years that have believed, no, it's all going to come good and it is going to change and Levy's going to change and we're going to start attracting top players and paying big wages. And then we had that kind of 10-year period where we announced we were building a stadium. Then it took forever to get the planning permission and to buy all the businesses around the area. Then it took 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, to build the bloody thing. And we were told that it would be game-changing. We were told that it would be game-changing, that it would allow us to compete, that we would be able to go toe-to-toe with the big clubs in the country, that would bring in the revenue to do that. And unfortunately, since we moved into the new stadium, it's gone backwards. We don't pay the big wages. We're now still buying just loads and loads and loads of youth players that are like 18, 19 that we all hope will come good one day. And we've seen nothing to suggest that this will ever change. So I think a lot of people have had enough. And during that time as well, I think it's more about how much they charge, that's not in line with how they run the club, how much they charge for shirts, how much they charge for match day, how much a beer is, fish and chips at our stadium. You need to take out a mortgage or a payday loan. It's, and I don't know if George will agree with me on this, but it's like everything at Tottenham Stadium, everything is best in class other than the football pitch. The toilets at Spurs are the nicest toilets you'll ever see in a stadium, right? The bars, everything, the light show, everything is amazing. The training ground is immaculate.
Trumpet, don't forget the trumpet.
The trumpet
what is that all about at the start of the games?
We've got concerts, we've got NFL, we've got boxing, we've got a Formula One track, this endorsement, this partnership. And unfortunately, everything is best in class other than that one bit that matters, which is that bit of green stuff in the middle of the stadium where we play football. And I think people have now started to shift away from, a lot of people have supported them for many years. And I think now that number's shifting massively to, this is not what we were promised. Maybe George will have another take on it, but that's wrapped up for me. That's what.
No, I think that's exactly what it is there. I think it's just a lot of people, like, whether it's Levy out, ENIC out, or it's just a lot of us just want change. I'm of the thought that these owners aren't going to bring that change, so we do need new owners to see that through. But ultimately, we just want to see our club actually be back in a place where it was in the 90s and the 80s. Because let's have it right, before these owners come in, we was winning stuff consistently, whether that was just 2 or 3 trophies every 10 years. It's still competing. We actually went out there to try and do things. Now under these owners, we're now the laughing stock of the Premier League. Everyone's sitting there going, oh, Spurs are this, Spurs are that, but it's these owners. When you talk about the stadium and what's going on in the stadium, when you actually go and visit it, they have the Tottenham badge, the NFL badge, the Formula 1 badge. You don't know what the stadium is for. Is it a football stadium? Is it an NFL stadium?
Tourist
all around the
attraction,
stadium.
George, that's what it is. Tourist attraction.
Exactly that. And even when I've been to games, there's not even Spurs fans in there. If you go sit in like the East Stand, the West Stand, where it's a bit more touristy, it costs a bit more money. You'll see there's a lot of people just there on a day out. Oh, I've been given these tickets. Oh, Spurs. It's like a London attraction now to go to a Spurs game. And that's where the issue is. If you go all outside the stadium, like I said, we're promoting concerts. And for me, it's like everything's the focus but the football. And when we look at transfers and you look at the investment, it's just not at the required level. People go and look at, oh, Spurs have spent this amount of money. Okay, but when you actually look at where the money's been spent, the money's been spent on a load of kids. So eventually they can make that money back and recoup it. When you look at wages wise, we're one of the lowest teams with regards to percentages, like revenue wise. We spend 42% of our wages. Compared to some of the other teams. I know people say Arsenal's fairly low, but if you look at Chelsea, even Aston Villa's at like 80% right now.
96.
96 even there. So you're looking at all these other teams that are really ambitious. They know that they've got to push the barrier in order to compete. Spurs will go so far below that barrier. And FFP and all these other things, we've never got to worry. Spurs have got one of the biggest credit in the bank for it, but that's because these owners
we
know
could spend $1 billion in the summer, George, and probably not be anywhere near FFP. We're very good like that.
George, we just want to see it. Go on.
What was the result of that protest? The 2-pack changes protest.
I think it was a fairly good protest. I think if you look at some of the other protests that we've had before, you've seen that I think the problem, similar to what Chelsea are having now, is there wasn't really a united fan base with regards to what the message was for the protest. For this process in particular, there was a lot of different messages, but they made it very clear they want change for Tottenham. Yes, want Enoch and Levy out, but the most important thing.
So what's changed?
Changes. What improvement? Where that's more investment.
What's changed from the protest at the weekend to where we are today?
Oh, won the game. We were 3 more points. Clean sheet, won the game. But no. To be honest, obviously nothing's going to change overnight. A protest are things that we've got to persist with, and we've got to make sure that the numbers keep turning up, and we keep organizing them in a way that they was again really organized. Pardon?
How big were the numbers?
It was a
few thousand. I think 3,000-4,000 people.
Wow.
I don't know. Nottingham's Forest Stadium is about 10,000. Like, what are we doing here?
You said the whole fan base united.
Off your stadium with just
you said the whole fan base united. They were agreed on this change, whatever this change word means, and that was 3,000 people. That's
again. You don't quote me in particular, but it was quite a few thousand people walking down. Of course, again, you're gonna have different people.
Were these actual Spurs fans, or were these the tourist fans that were in the stadium?
These were the Spurs fans. But what you have to understand, Wolf, is not every fan's on Twitter, not every fan's on social media, not every fan. You have to remember the fans in the stadiums aren't the fans that's on social media consistently spreading a message. So yes, not all the fans in the stadium are going to agree with the message, but they will get aboard and they'll jump on it once they see it more often. But the point is that we have to go out there, start the protest, start and build it up to a case of when it will be 10 or 15,000. But right now,
George, when can we expect to see the changes after this protest?
This is so disingenuous.
I don't know what.
I don't really
want from the answers from the question.
Well, why is it disingenuous? When we saw the protest about the Super League,
he's on a wind up. I get what he's on.
It was
right,
taken
Wolfie.
off,
Can I just again? This is where I think people need to start being realistic about this and genuine and stop being disingenuous. First and foremost, I hear this all the time about, well, what about what that protest did? Let's use 2 examples, right? Let's use Tottenham now and let's use Newcastle when they protested to get Mike Ashley out. When Newcastle were protesting to get Mike Ashley out, they were protesting to sell a football club that was worth £350 million and to get out an owner that it was just football, right? If I'm not wrong, I don't remember Newcastle being anything else other than a football stadium. That's it, right? So they sold the club for 350 million. There's many people in the world that can chuck 350 million. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us can. But well, Dan's doing well on YouTube, so he might be able to chuck 350 million these days. But going and doing that in the business world is actually quite an easy deal to get together. We're talking about Spurs now. What Levy has built He's almost built the mothership in terms of sports entertainment. For Daniel Levy to leave, I say Levy and Enoch, because he owns 30% of Enoch. But Enoch and Levy to sell Tottenham Hotspur, you're talking about £4 to £4.5 billion of investment in Tottenham Hotspur. Now, 3 things have got to happen, Wolfie. 1, the owners have got to get to the point where they go, yeah, we don't want to be here anymore. 2, you've got to have enough investment that somebody's going to put a consortium together and say, let's go and buy Tottenham Hotspur. 3, you're then going to have however long that rigmarole of business paperwork and that takes to get that done. But the difference is, Wolfie, this is the difficulty we've got at Spurs. These owners have not done this by mistake. They have planned this, calculated, right? They've calculated to do this over the years. They've built what they set out to do. So at the moment, all the money that they're generating, the revenue, that the partnerships with the NFL and the concerts and the zone boxing and all this, blah, blah, blah. This is what they built it for, right? So getting them out is never going to be a quick fix. I've even gone on record and said, I don't even think protesting will get them out. But what it does do is it lets the mainstream media know just how disappointed and upset the actual Spurs fans are by the way that our club's been run. But you can't sit here on Thursday and say, well, what happened since Sunday? What did you expect? That Spurs would be sold in 4 days? Like, what I
said. What can we expect? That was my question. What can we expect to happen?
Pressure.
3,000 people putting pressure on. I don't see it.
But Wolfie, it's how it gets to the media. Sky Sports did it. BT did it. All of the big channels were doing it on YouTube and on X and on Instagram. It's getting that coverage of, let's have the conversation. Why are Spurs fans pissed off? Before the protests were getting 200-300 people. If you go from that to 3,000,
you can say that all you want, Saba. The problem with these protests that you've done, right, joking aside, is as a non-Spurs fan, I have no idea what you're protesting. I mean, George tried to explain it last week. I was none the wiser. Secondly,
I just told you what we're protesting.
Just let me finish. Secondly, with what Levy's doing at Spurs, whether you guys like it or not, he's actually bringing in revenue that helps you be comfortable PSR and potentially could do stuff on the pitch. You can argue what he's doing on the pitch is nowhere near where it needs to be, and I'd agree. But in terms of how you generate revenue, you guys need to understand how PSR works. And this is a model.
We understand how PSR works.
Let me finish. This is a model that you will see a lot of Premier League clubs going for. You're seeing Forest now hosting the England game. We're supposed to take that concerts. All the other clubs will be doing similar things. You have to generate revenue from off the pitch stuff because of PSR.
No one doubt, Wolfie, you've not listened to a word I've said. This is what infuriates me. This is
Spurs fan. Listen to him. He's had that
fan, right?
Gary Barlow.
Right? Spurs fans.
So they don't take his son.
Right, we're not upset. Right, we're not frustrated that we have the concerts, that we have the boxing. I'm all for all that stuff. What we're frustrated at is we were told that would allow us to kick on from where we were. So when I've got fans like you telling me, but you've got to remember PSR, have a day off, Wolfie. I'm going to be serious here. Have a day off because we're in no trouble at all. If all these other if Aston Villa, who were a championship team 5 seasons ago, can turn around and put 96% of their turnover into player wages, into their player wages, etc., right? And you're telling me that the best Daniel Levy can do is 42%, right? This is also a chairman, by the way. Sorry, I'm on a rant now. This is also a chairman, by the way, Wolfie, that in the summer slashed our wage bill by £30 million, right? So this isn't about, like you say, you're coming on here being all smart ass that, oh, PSR, you've got to be good with your money. We're brilliant with our money.
I didn't say that.
Right, but we're one of the only clubs in the Premier League that never, ever, ever have to look at PSR. It's not even a thing. We don't have to look at it.
You're saying what I said. You're saying what I said.
No, I'm not saying what you...
No, you are, because I said what he's doing off the pitch is securing your PSR. Your protest should be about the on the pitch stuff.
If that's the main focus,
PSR has been secured for years.
Let Cal come in
because of what he's doing.
Wolfie, I think you're getting it wrong. Do you know what it's like, Wolfie? It's like me having a house and decorating everything outside the house, but when you walk into the house, there's no radiators. It's cold as hell in the house. Exactly. They're doing everything pretty outside the house. But Tottenham Football Club is in the name, football club. So, You can have all the events and all that, but bro, football. You're meant to be achieving in
agree,
the
Cal.
football.
I
So
agree.
Mike, so
But
even
he bought
though
the house.
yeah, buy the house, but there's no point buying the house if you're not going to do anything with the house, bro.
I agree. This is my point. They're protesting the wrong thing.
They're
Leave
not,
out
bro.
Enoch out and all this. Yeah,
They're not.
they're not
because
going to
they're
get
not
rid
doing
of
what
them.
they
They
do.
need to protest what's on the pitch.
No,
No, but that's the
no,
thing,
but-
Wolfie. It was changed for Tottenham, and that's
yeah,
what I
but
said.
the turnover on the pitch can happen. I'm speaking about this as a Liverpool fan who have FSG. I'm sitting here as someone who doesn't like FSG. Levy and them lot, they're FSG on roids, bro. It's what they're doing at Spurs is crazy. The fact that they're sitting there as fans and they're going, we ain't won anything in how many years, but yet we spent all this money. You can't just keep on saying it's the players and turning over the players and turning over the players. You have to look above that and say someone's getting it wrong at a higher level, and it's the board are getting it wrong at a higher level. So you can keep on turning over the players, but if you're not doing things at the top correctly, it's just going to be a revolving door, bro. So they have to get some sort of traction to get these owners out or do something to have a shift in
Callum,
mentality because it's
Cal,
not working.
Do you know we've got 5 players on over 100 grand a week?
Yeah,
5. Arsenal have
Mhm.
18. 18 Arsenal have. We have 5. Like
Yeah.
the gap, the chasm is just ridiculous. And listen, I get what Wolfie's saying. Clubs need to be profitable, but let me ask you guys a question. When was the last top team? When was the last any team to go out of to go bust, to go into a mission?
Portsmouth, wasn't it? Or
Right. That's
Leeds back in the day.
It would never ever. Leeds are still existing, right? So it would never happen in today's football. Tottenham could go and spend £1 billion this summer. We would never go under. The Premier League wouldn't let it happen. The FA wouldn't let it happen. There's too much money in football. It's not going to happen. So why, Wolfie, can't we get our wage turnover from 42
Sava,
to
you're agreeing with me
72%?
about realizing. I am saying you need to do that. But I am saying Levy has brought this revenue in.
No, but
Levy's probably been the best for revenue
not
generation.
spending.
Yeah, but Wolfie,
And
what's the
Agree.
point?
That's the point. I'm agreeing. He's done half right, half wrong.
No, it's not half right, half wrong. It's pretty much
is.
90% wrong.
Is
bro,
FSG generating the revenue that Levy is for Liverpool?
Yes.
He is
They're
actually.
generating
Wow.
that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Isn't Liverpool one of the most profitable clubs in the world?
Bro,
Like,
From these
There's a
extracurricular activities, are you generating
Liverpool and
like
Tottenham are
Spurs?
neck and neck with like profits. I don't think you actually get. If you look at the
Profit,
profits,
but you're
table-
taking into account player sales, things like that.
No,
I'm
I'm
talking
talking about
extracurricular
commercial
activity.
revenue profits.
There's a
It's not-
reason I can relate to Tottenham fans, bro. There's a reason, Wolfie. There's a reason I can resonate with what they're saying because this is the same thing we go through, just not at as bad a level as Spurs fans. So I can understand what's going on there because we go through it. But we got told the other day we've got the second or the top wage bill in the country. When you break it down, our players aren't making as much as Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal's. What FSG have done is put everyone on the wage bill and then put that through and said, yeah, that's the player wage bill. And the fans have just lapped it up rather than actually looking into it. Bro, it is a football club first. There's a business element in football, but it's a football club first. I do not care about profit and loss margins. I don't
Agreed.
give a monkeys, bro. I care about what's in the
Agreed.
trophy cabinet at the end of the season. I'm not sitting there saying I want my club to go out of business or Spurs or anyone else. I just want my club to be winning trophies. I want in May to be sitting there saying we're in a final or it's going down to the last game of the season. I don't want to be sitting there going, you know how much money we've turned over, bro? Because we had that concert last month. I don't care, bro. I'm sure Spurs fans are the exact same.
Every fan, Cal, every fan is the exact same. But the problem is, while we have these financial restrictions on, like my idea is probably the best one. Put bonds up at the start of the season. Your owner comes in and says, "I want to spend 300 million, 500 million, $1 billion. Protect it against a bond. Hold it with the Premier League or whatever, and then spend that money." Forget
But
the PSR thing.
Wolfie, we're not
make sure the
restricting
club
it.
stay alive.
Wolfie, they have to start somewhere. So with protest, you have to start somewhere and then hope that the traction builds and
It's
builds.
not going
and
to
builds.
change anything. It's not going to change anything.
But Wolfie,
Wolfie,
you said
Wolfie,
we're financially
How long have the Man U fans been protesting Glazers?
But Wolfie, if you don't do anything, nothing will
worked.
change.
How long have the
So
Man
it
U
depends.
fans been
Try and do
protesting the
something.
Glazers?
Has it not worked? Has Ineos not brought in and they're now doing a phase
Why do
buying?
you think Ineos came in? To add a layer of protection for the Glazers. So they're two apart now.
But I don't think you're getting Wolfie. How can fans, unite and actually let the owners know that they're not happy with what's going on the pitch.
We need more than 3,000, George.
It's a protest, but it's happening weekly. You're forgetting that every single game that it's Levy and Enoch out. It's ringing around the stadium. You can hear it literally when you're watching games. You can hear Levy out, Enoch out. Right. So they're getting to know, and then we do a protest united together. And you're now trying to bash it and say, "Oh, that's not enough."
Yeah,
that's not
George,
enough.
let me ask
you
you
need
this.
to start somewhere.
Let me ask you this: if Spurs were in Liverpool's position, would you have been protesting?
But we're not. That's the problem. I don't think
Spurs.
Would you not? Spurs, no. But Wolfie, if Spurs fans were, if we were in the Liverpool's position of the past 10 years where they've competed and won things, we wouldn't. Just like Callum has alluded to, Liverpool fans aren't protesting because on the pitch they're actually doing good.
FSG
but if they do, some fans do, but the majority won't because the focus is on the football pitch, and that is why they haven't had big protests for FSG.
Do you know what it is?
If they were so bad on the football pitch, they would be. That's the point.
Do you know what this is? It's one of these things in football that if it happens to your club, if it's happening to your club, people understand it, right? So what Wolfie's not understanding is everything that went into building this new stadium, having to go and play at Wembley for 2 years, what we were promised, how much we pay. This is the difference. If Tottenham Hotspur weren't winning anything and were going through, I hate this project, forgive me, going through a youth project, if that's what Tottenham were doing and they were charging 50 quid a ticket, then you turn around and go, cool, yeah? Tottenham Hotspur, some of the tickets at Tottenham are 90 to 100 quid on a match day, right? Our shirts are £125. Right. So when they do things like that, they don't give concessions. Now, do you remember they didn't do the concessions for the seniors, for example? Right. When you've got all of this, but at the same time,
bro. Thank you so much.
Take care, brothers.
When you've got all of that going on, but then we see, wow, look at that stadium. Wow, look at the training ground. Wow, look at the hotel we've just built. Look at the golf courses that we now own. Wow, look at what we've regenerated in the Tottenham area. But now look at the grass and we go, hang on, we're the ones paying for it. We're the ones being mugged off, right? So I get that other fans can come in and say financial fair play and PSR and all of that. But Wolfie, Tottenham could go and spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions without any ramifications. We're not Chelsea. We're not Man United. We're not Man City. We have not got anywhere near spending what we could, and we pay peanuts in football terms on wages.
It's an exaggeration, so you can spend hundreds and hundreds of millions.
Oh, it's not
in a transfer.
No,
it is.
It's Wolfie. It's not. It's not Wolfie. We don't. It's no.
Last
question.
Last
you have to be within 105 profit loss over a rolling 3-year period.
Wolfie. Oh, I don't know where to.
You're not going to.
Why do you think you don't know where to go where you want? Because the key thing is your revenue in the rolling 3-year period has to be within 105. That's the key.
But Wolfie, the point is there are some clubs that can't spend anything at the moment, right?
I agree. Look, I'm not saying you can't spend. I'm saying you're going to some extremes. You should have been spending over the years. What you're not understanding is I'm agreeing with you. But what you're ignoring is the fact that whether you like it or not, Levy, and it's the side of football I don't care about. I like the rest of you, I agree. The pitch is more important. But Levy has generated you this income. Love him or hate him, he's done it. What your problem should be is
to do with us as fans. But Wolfie, if that income is not being churned into buying better players and paying bigger wages, what on earth what do George and I really care?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you on that point.
I'm so confused by you.
What do you mean you're not making the money then?
What?
You keep making the point about Levy making the money, but then you're telling us as fans we should be happy with Levy because he's made the money.
I didn't say that. I said you should be protesting what he's doing off the pitch. You should be protesting what he's doing, what he's done on the pitch.
But the protests are with that. Again, you didn't listen for what I said at the start. I said the protests
just said changes, man. I mean,
what does that change for Tottenham? That's as a whole. Change, more investment in the club. That means that we'll have a better future on the football pitch. Ultimately, us as fans, we care about what happens on the football pitch. We want to see Tottenham competing again. As Savas pointed out, going back to when we moved into the stadium, we were competing under Pochettino. Even though the investment was high, we was competing. We took steps back in the last 6 years.
Exactly.
We're not the club we was 6 or 7 years ago. We were finishing in the top 4 every year. We've finished in the top 4 once in the last 5 years, and that's since we've moved into the stadium. We've taken steps back. So yes, we want to go steps forward and start to compete again. But sorry, Dan, I know you got to end, man. So
no, it's cool,
Spurs,
man. I loved it.
Like
I
the
can't
Spurs
lie.
fans, not happy over
I
here.
can't lie. I love the passion. I love the passion, man. I really do. But look, we have got to come to a close, people. Big up to every single one of you for coming on. Big up to the guys that were on earlier as well. Make sure you're following Billy on socials, AV Billy, and you're following Kopish and Callum, as well as Halftime Hooks. Big up to Sava. Sava, shout out what you got coming up, bro.
Spurs Ipswich Saturday. I'm on with Lee Gunner tomorrow. That should be interesting.
Always.
And shameless plug just for my new channel. If you wouldn't mind putting that link in, Dan, that I'd love you forever for that. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Surfer, what you got coming up, bro?
Well, nothing I know of at the moment. I'll be on Sarcasm City playback. We'll do the clubs thing tonight. Tomorrow Chelsea Man United show with Flawless, and then reacting to the Villa game at the weekend, and so forth. But more importantly, like this video and subscribe to this channel and all the rest of the guys as well. So
Love for that, bro. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Joe, likewise, what you got coming up, brother?
Burnley Chef Wednesday tomorrow, man. Big clash. Be there.
Oh, big game.
We play Sheffield United next Monday, which if we win, announce the title, and then we're back in the Premier League. So yeah.
Yo, beat
Come on,
Sheffield
bro.
United, Joe. Please, I can't stand that club.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
Make sure you subscribe to Just Joe, man. He's one of the best content creators out there, man. So make sure you go and show Joe some love. By far, man, not just saying this because you're my friend. Easily my favorite watch alongs, yours, man. Easily my favorite watch alongs, man. Absolute legend. George, come on, bro. Plug your stuff, man. What you got coming up?
Yeah, man. Direct Diaries, just come follow me over there. What do I have coming back? I've got an Ipswich preview tomorrow. I might do a call-in show later tonight, so keep an eye out for that. But apart from that, man, yeah, just make sure you like on the video. And hopefully Spurs can get a win this weekend. That's the most important thing.
Come on, bro. Love, man. Love for coming on. Wolfie, likewise, man. Always a pleasure, bro. What you got coming up?
Yeah, I'm doing a match preview at 6:30 over on Pete's channel on Loaded Mag. I got, what day is tomorrow? Friday, got my preview for Newcastle, and then Sunday the watch along for Forest Newcastle, where Sava will be back in Newcastle, no doubt.
I love you, Wolfie. I truly love you, Wolfie. I love you so much. I do.
Title race back on, man.
Like last night, I'm sitting there, Dan, right? I'm sitting there. So I'm doing a watch along for Real Madrid Man City. And I get this message through on a group I'm with Wolfie. It says, it's back on. So I put question mark, what have I missed? And then I realized, oh, what? Because Liverpool have equalized, because Villa are beating Villa or whatever. Just like,
he loves it, man. He loves it.
Believe.
He loves it.
Believe.
He believes, man. He's believing to the end. Listen, people, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit subscribe on this one. You're going to send you over to Flawless over at Sarcasm City TV, who's live at the moment. So go redirect over to him. Show him some love. And we're out of it, people. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. Big up to everyone. Love.